I think that was it. I think I nailed it. Welcome to 4%, where we talk about a little bit less. We don't go as deep.
You can keep a few more things to yourself.
Yeah, we actually don't want to talk about that part. We're almost everything.
In fact, we would encourage you keep that part.
Yes,
that's a little much.
Too much, buddy. You found the line and you crossed it.
Welcome to 3%. We're your hosts, Jamie Haig.
And I'm Blake Roberts.
We're two best friends, fathers, husbands, and just two guys trying to figure it out.
We're also therapists, which is probably a pretty important part.
That's true.
And we believe that at our best, people are 97% honest with themselves and others. And it's that hidden 3% of emotions, needs, desires, and behaviors that we keep to ourselves that keep us bound to shame and loneliness, from which many of our issues stem.
Each week on this podcast, we'll interview leaders in the fields of psychology, theology, arts, and athletics to explore holistic masculinity. We're not here to tell you the man you need to be, but we are here to help you explore what gets in the way of being the man you want to be.
We're going to help you develop courage and give you the tools to share your 3% in the relationships that matter most, so you can more deeply connect with yourself, God, and others. So, pull up a chair.
Let's get into it.
So let's be honest. Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 3% Podcast. We will get this intro started if we could ever stop laughing with our very quick-witted, humorous guest. Well, in light of being honest, we're starting over because I've restarted this intro 3 times. We're glad you're here. Welcome back. Buckle up.
Yeah. All the things that we normally say.
I think I need to buckle up today.
Yeah, no kidding.
When we started 3%, we said that we wanted to create spaces and have conversations and provide tools that help you connect deeper with yourself, God, and others. And when we say tools, we didn't just mean stuff that we will eventually create, but tools that others have created to help facilitate that deeper connection. And so you'll notice in season 1 and then in season 2, we've had lots of guests that have books. And we're very intentional of who we bring on and what books we promote, or what books we help our guests promote, because we really want to give you more tools to help foster that deeper connection. And so today we've got a really good tool.
That's so funny. As I was driving here, I passed a store that said Mega Tools, and I thought, oh, all my friends from high school are there. And I didn't have anybody to share it with until right now.
My inability to do a proper intro today just created you space to share that wonderful joke.
But I was laughing in the car to myself, and I was like, you're so dumb. No. But we brought it up now, so there you go.
You said your favorite intro of yourself that you've heard was stand-up poet theologian. Was that it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mockingbird Ministries, Dave Saul.
Wow, well done.
You should have him on the podcast. But they did a little write-up for my children's book, All the Things I Say to God. And when that came out, I was like, oh my gosh. I feel like that's like the nicest thing anyone has ever said about me or to me.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's who I am, I guess.
By the way, this is Tanner Olson, everybody.
Yeah.
Hello. I'm all over the place.
I'm finding that Tanner is a dear friend of mine, and I'm finding that when we have guests on that are more like friends, the beginning of that is so much.
It's always chaotic.
Chaotic, because it's like, yes, you are what did you say, a poet, theologian?
Stand-up poet,
Mockingbird?
theologian, mega tool.
Mega tool.
And I just have so many jokes I want to make because I'm your friend.
Yes.
And that's
Go ahead.
That's how us guys connect with each other, right? It's
Yeah,
by
that's
making
right.
fun of each
Yeah.
other.
You like
Tearing
chip
each
away,
other
and then you
down.
go, and then you go deeper, and you're like, oh, we were just getting to a place
Yeah.
where you could have a
Yeah.
3% honest conversation.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Saw
That's
that?
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm a former podcaster.
Yeah.
I know how to change the conversation.
I dabble.
If you don't know,
Stand-up poet, theologian, podcaster, formerly.
Formerly. It's a lot of work to have a podcast.
yeah,
It is.
And when you
telling
told me that
us.
you were starting a podcast, I was like, oh. And immediately added you to the prayer list because it's just a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bless
A
their
lot.
heart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, though, we're stoked to be able to talk to you today. If you don't know of Tanner, he goes by Written to Speak online, and he is a poet, an author, a speaker, a dad.
Dad. Yep.
Just such a good human that is insanely talented at, I would say, like putting vocabulary to this human experience that we're all fumbling through in a way that is inviting. And I mean, the one word that comes to my mind is hopeful. And so today we get to talk about his newest book coming out
Yay.
that we've all got a copy of, Getting Through What You're Going Through, which is such a fitting book, I think, for our audience. Like, let me just read you the back. Life is not a race, and you are not behind. You can find deep peace, everlasting hope, and a spark of joy right where you are. It's a collection of notes and poems, and I've gotten to read some of it, and it's so good, man.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, it's a joy to be able to put out a book. And this is like, I mean, we've talked about like creating over the years, and like I've been doing this for 13 years now. And you know how they say it takes 10 years to become an overnight success?
Yeah.
It took me 13. But like I've just been like, this is the book that I've wanted to release for such a long time. And I'm finally able to put it out. And it's, you know, it's notes, it's poems, it's essays. And really the whole idea is just to kind of be this like hopeful companion as for people as they walk through the unknown. Because I think if you know, we look at the world, we look at our friends, we look at our own lives, we're all just trying to get through stuff. I know y'all got young kids. Like we have a 2-year-old and we both work full time and we're both, you know, and that's just like a snippet of the world, but like we're all just like doing it.
Yeah.
And to have words to go along with that at the start of a day, at the middle of a day, at the end of the day, that can remind you like, hey, everything is going to be okay, even if everything isn't okay today.
Oof. Yeah.
So you've written how many books at this point?
This is like number 6.
6. Wow. Other collections of poems, children's book you mentioned, All Things I Say to God. Fantastic children's book, by the way.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Charlotte, my
Please go
daughter,
get that
loves
one.
it.
Yeah. Same.
It's like genuinely, we'll have, it's kind of about,
Oh, you want me to tell you what it's about?
yeah.
All the things I say to God?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about this little girl by the name of Abby who begins to pray all by herself. And
Yes.
so she just learns that she can talk to God anytime, anywhere, about anything. And it was a really fun book to write. And I actually wrote that book while I was writing this one as well.
Wow.
I wanted to release another book of poetry and essays, and my agent was like, you need to like chill out on the poetry thing, dude. And
You're like, I'm a poet.
and I was like, yeah, it's like literally in my, you know, in my bio. And he was like, what else can you do? And I was like, can't really do much else. I could start a podcast. And he was, so we eventually came up with a children's book, and I told him about this idea that I had. And I wrote it during the same season as I was writing this book, because my wife and I, we were walking through like unexplained infertility. We tried to start a family and trying for a couple of years, and then we got diagnosed with unexplained infertility. And so at that time, a lot of our friends were having kids. They were getting pregnant or like receiving the answer to the prayers that we were praying and the answer to their own prayers too. So I wanted to write a book for all the kids that were calling me Mr. Tanner and Uncle Tanner. And so I was like, well, what's the one thing that I really want to teach them? Well, you can talk to God anytime, anywhere, and about anything. So I wrote this story about a little girl by the name of Abby, and it's a fun story, and I've gotten to share it, you know, all over the country over the last like 9 months or so. And the conversations, like the DMs that I get about this book are so sweet.
I mean, it works. Like
It
Charlotte, I'm not joking. Like she is obsessed with it. And then we're getting to the place now where we're starting to, I mean, I pray with her every night, but like she'll start to pray and she like repeats things from the book.
Yeah.
Like things that Abby would pray about.
That's sweet.
So it really works.
Yeah, and I think it's just like giving them language and giving them an example of like, well, this is what it looks like for us, and it doesn't have to be poetic, it doesn't have to be scripted. It's just like it's a conversation with you and the Father. It is a conversation with you and the one who says he loves you. Like you just talk to him. So what do you have to say? And it's not graded. It doesn't, you know, like I think that was my thing growing was like, well, it's not going to be good enough. You guys went to Christian schools, right? Like, so you knew like after somebody said
I'm
a
a
prayer.
product of public school, baby.
Yeah.
Trevecca University.
Well, master's degree.
All right.
Yeah.
So okay, but you know, like
Somewhere, yeah.
you know the youth group thing when you would like get in a circle and you would pray, and then afterward, like someone would say a prayer and they'd be like, "That's a really good prayer."
Yeah, yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
And
I
you're
grew up
like,
in
"That
church,
guy's a
so yeah, I
really
know
good
what
prayer.
you're talking
He's
about.
really good at praying." It's like that's not a thing.
Yeah.
Like God's not like, yeah, I'd much rather hear from Larry than Kevin any day, but it's not how it works. And so I wanted to like write a book that reminded kids like God wants to hear from them. Like your voice is precious. And so talk to him.
Yeah. So would you say that this book is it kind of like not a culmination of all of your stuff, but there seems to be, just from like knowing you, knowing your other stuff, and just like the way you even talk about this, there seems to be something different about this book for you.
I think this one is when you go through something, or when life hits you, knocks you down, it goes away in a way that you did not think it was going to go. It changes what you create, and it changed for me the things that I was writing and wrestling with. And so this book really comes from a place of grief, of uncertainty, of frustration, of wondering how am I going to get through the things that I'm going through, and then eventually like taking steps through them, and then being able to look back and to see what God was doing, the things that like broke me and changed me. And when you go through something, I mean, you guys know from sitting across from people day after day of like you're learning how to become a new person while still being the versions of yourself that you were. And it's like hard to take that step out of who you were into this new that maybe you did not ask for. Like I did not expect to go through unexpected infertility. I didn't think that was going to be part of our story. Yeah. Now that we've gone through it, and through that we were led to adoption, and now we have a son named Judah, and I wouldn't change it. Yeah. And yet I still went through it. Right. Like, and so now I look back on the hard thing, and I thank God for it. But had you told me that like 5 years ago, I'd have been like, we're not there yet.
Right.
And you can only be where you are. You can't rush the process.
Yeah, I think that's something that, boy, there's a really hard balance in that. Because even I'll speak personally for my own story. I don't necessarily think that the feeling I have looking back at the hardest things I've been through is gratitude for the thing. And I think that's where...
It is a way that a lot of people talk about it.
It is a way that a lot of people talk about it. And even... I am going to want to hear your thoughts on this in a second.
Everything happens to you for a reason.
Yeah. Even when I say I wouldn't be who I am without, everybody who listens to this podcast or has listened to the whole first season will know I was abused for 8 years by a youth pastor. Mm-hmm. I'm not thankful for it. And yet I wouldn't be the person I am, who I am very thankful for, without it.
Yeah.
And so that's a really hard yes and to hold, of like thinking through, getting through what you're going through. It's like, I don't want anyone to think that even like my work on forgiveness of that thing is moving to a place where I can look back and be like, boy, I'm grateful that that was the story God wrote for me. But I have an incredible amount of gratitude for the gifts that came because of the healing from that thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder what your thoughts are on that.
I think when we hear somebody talk about the things that they've gone through, it's never like a one size fits all, right? And so I am thankful for the hard season because of the hard season that it was. And if it was something else, I might say something differently. I might hate the thing that I had gone through rather than accept it for what it was because of what it brought me to.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's like writing this book and then talking in like generalizations. And that's why I try to be like, and this is what we went through. But when I do events and shows and talk with people, like when you are vulnerable, other people are vulnerable with you.
Yeah.
And so after events, I hear things of, addiction and just awful medical things of, strokes and cancer and all of that. And then there's the pain and the grief that comes along with things that you never asked to happen to you, but it happened to you. And I don't ever have like a good answer other than, and I write about this in the book, is I had a friend, I was telling him, this was right when we got diagnosed with infertility, and he just said to me, he goes, I hate this for you. And like, that's all that he said. And it was the most impactful thing, because he didn't try to fix it. He didn't like Jeremiah 29:11 me. He didn't try to do any of that kind of stuff. He was just like, this sucks, man.
Were other people saying different things?
I have a Jeremiah 29:11 plate in my house that somebody sent me to remember that God has a plan. He does. He definitely does. I do not know what that plan is. So I keep walking by faith, right? Like, the thing that we got told a lot is God's timing is perfect. And that is so, so true, but it's not what I needed to hear.
Yeah.
And oftentimes we're kind of just looking for words to help us get through what we're going through. Or we're just needing somebody to say to us, like, to confirm this is a terrible thing. I'm so sorry this happened. I hate this for you. I can't fix it, but I can sit here with you.
Hey, we want to pause real quick and let you know about something. We know a lot of you don't just want more content. You want connection, you want practice, you want tools, you want depth. And that's why we created The Basement. It's our private community for anyone who's ready to go beyond surface level and actually engage their emotional lives. So every month we release a deep dive Q&A episode that's only available inside the community. We answer real questions from real listeners in a more intentional way than we do on our regular feed. We also share guided reflections and practical tools to actually help you apply this stuff. And you'll be connected to other people who are doing the work too.
It's $10 a month or $100 for the year, and you can cancel anytime. And honestly, even if you've been listening to our podcast for a while and you're not sure how much you'd use The Basement, becoming a member is still a great way to support what we're building. It helps us create more spaces, more conversations, and more resources for anyone who wants and needs them. So check out the link that will be in the show notes. If you're ready for more than just listening, come join us in The Basement.
Yeah.
So I think that's really like the big, one of the things I've learned. And can I read you a poem?
Yeah,
Please.
please.
So there's a poem in the book, page 125, if you guys want to open up your copies too.
I'm going to read along like I'm in class. Please open up your books,
open
page
up
125, and read along.
Please open up your textbook to 125.
I opened up to 130.
That's pretty close. This is one that I often share because this is just kind of based off of everything that we were just talking about. This is what comes to mind.
Are we popcorn reading?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
I'll do the first. Who wants to take the first?
Back
one?
to
you got
Sunday
it, you got it,
school.
You got it. You got it.
When I say everything will be okay, what I mean is, in the end, everything will be okay. Along the way, it will not all be okay. You already know this. There will be sadness and death and failure. There will be brokenness and moments that feel beyond repair. There will be pain and fear and unwanted changes to your story. There will be seasons when you feel far from okay and moments when you wonder if the last line of this poem is true. Of the little I know, one thing I know for sure. Through it all, there is hope. And hope invites us to lean in and hold fast to a light that continues to last. It moves us to love and dream and give and continue and stay for another day. It leads us to pray and forgive and cling to grace and believe the last line of this poem is true. Everything will be okay, even if everything isn't okay today. And so I think about that, like just, with what you shared and I don't know, just like what it means to be here and to be human and the things that happen to us, the things that we go through that we did not ask to go through. And so for me and the things that I believe, like I know that one day everything is going to be okay because I trust that God is a good father and like we are not forgotten and that things will be made right.
Yeah. I love that.
But that's not to say that this is going to be easy.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not the title of the book.
I think that I even bring that up because I think it's the thing that I encounter the most within myself and when talking to other people about almost where they get stuck is I don't want to move past not being okay with what happened to me,
Yeah.
to move forward and to actually making my way through.
Mm-hmm.
It really does remind me of when Jesus asks, "Do you want to be made well?"
Mm.
The barrier becomes for sure. This was how it was for me. Was like, if I let go of my anger and resentment of this thing, and this is one of some hard things I went through, but this is, if you look at my story, probably the thing that's going to stand out. It's like,
Yeah.
that was probably the hardest thing. But we lost 2 kids to miscarriage as well.
Mm-hmm.
And even in those times, it's a yes and. Like, I was talking to a friend yesterday of if our first kid, who I believe was a girl, and I say I believe because I don't actually know, if our first daughter was here on earth, then my son would not be here on earth. And if my third child was here on earth, then my daughter would not be here on earth.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a real yes and to that again, where it's like, I am not grateful that we went through losing children to miscarriage. And I cannot imagine this world without Leo and Charlie in it. And I think sometimes with myself, where I lean towards wanting to be a victim, which I don't even like saying it that way because it makes it feel like it's almost invalidating some of what I feel, but it's not at the end of the day. When I lean towards wanting to be a victim, it's because I want somebody else to hurt for what is happening to me.
Yeah.
And so I'm just listening to, like, that poem was beautiful because it is like clinging to that hope that it's okay that it's not okay today.
And I don't want to just like skip to the good part and be like, oh, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Because like that disqualifies your story or the thing that you went through or the vulnerable thing that you shared. It's like, but deep down there is this promise. But like, what do I do with now?
Yeah.
Until then,
Yeah.
what do you do with the dash? Like, I'm waiting, I'm wondering, I'm hopeful.
Yeah. So for someone who is listening, who's struggling the same way I would have said that clinging tightly to that victim mindset, or the resentment really of the abuse is what ended up perpetuating a lot of problematic behaviors for me. For the person who might be listening, who is currently in my shoes of like, okay, I hear you guys that we can be okay, and it's okay that it's not okay today. How do you encourage them? How do you encourage the person who's like where you were experiencing that diagnosis of the literal diagnosis is unexplained infertility?
That was really fun to write a check for that and be like, you didn't give us an answer.
Yeah.
You didn't tell us why.
Yeah.
And I think most of life kind of feels like that though. It's like, why did that happen? It's unexplained. It just because.
Yeah.
That's the way it played out.
Yeah.
Or brokenness just finds its way into us. So I was talking with somebody about grief the other day, and they kind of explained grief to me as like, when you go through something, when something happens, it's like you're in a box and there's a balloon. Have you guys heard this before?
No.
I liked it, but I didn't go to school for this kind of stuff. But so like you're in a box and there's a balloon, and the balloon is the grief. And over time, and like when you're in it, when it happens, like you are up against it. Like it consumes so much of your life, so much of your world, and you carry it with you really everywhere you go, and it's noticeable. But over time, that balloon kind of begins to shrink down, but it's still always in the box with you. And it gets smaller and it gets smaller, and every now and again, though, it comes and it hits you when you least expect it, and it knocks you on your back, and it wrecks your day, and then you're back to getting through what you're going through again and again. And I've been thinking about that a lot. And when talking about grief or the hard things of the past, you're not abandoning them. You can't abandon them. They are with you. They are now part of your story. And so how do you honor them and carry them with you as you move forward? How do you talk about them? How do you pray about them? How do you bring them up in conversation? But it's not like, how do I escape this thing? We're not running away. We're walking towards.
Yeah.
I really like that analogy. Maybe
The
steal
balloon?
that. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
good.
That is good.
I'm in a particular season of grief. Like something that I notice in myself and even in the way we've been talking about it is that I'll speak for myself. I often ask how and why. Like, why is this happening? Which is kind of what you guys were just talking about. Which even that, if you knew why the infertility was unexplained, but it was still infertility, like, would that have even made it better? At the end of the day, you still can't have kids the way you want to.
Still don't know. Like, yeah, that was the thing. There's so much it's a frustrating thing to be a human being.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to be a human.
Yeah.
And like when they were like, it's unexplained, I'm like, this says more about you as a doctor.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, I think you need to talk to your boss. Can I see the
Yeah.
manager? Do doctors have managers? Because I'd like to see them. Like, we need to talk about this.
I'd like to speak to your manager, please.
But I was just like, when they told us, like, we're sitting in this room and they're like, I was like, this isn't a good enough answer.
Yeah.
And like, I think a lot of the stuff that y'all have gone through, that I've gone through, it's like, it's not a good enough answer. But
But what I wonder is, like, is there one?
is there an answer?
Is there a good enough answer? Like, if I'm not trying to deflect from me, I'll answer the question too, but I'm going with the examples we're giving. But like, if you had good answers, logically to understand why this person got to the place where they abused you the way they did, like, is there a good enough answer for that makes it
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
right.
absolutely not.
It's
So
like
it's
the
like-
hard thing is still the hard thing, but now you have more information to lose sleep over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now my whole thing is like, well, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, in session all the time, I hear it's like the first place we go to is whether it's a behavior or something that happened to the person or something. Like, the first place we go to is like, well, I don't really know why that happened. And so then I'm like on this quest to try to figure out why it happened. And sometimes the information helps a little bit, but it doesn't often, at least the way that we hope for it to. Information alone, like insight alone, doesn't change anything. And I think there's a very like unique time and place we're in right now where we've been so inundated with
Information.
whys. Like, every therapist on Instagram is giving you explanations of why something is the way it is. And we're like, we have so much self-awareness for all these things we're going through. And that's helpful. It's a part of the journey, but like the knowledge alone doesn't. I don't know. I'm going on a little bit of a rant, but like sometimes it just, whatever you're going through is like, it's just happening, and maybe you don't know why it's happening. And maybe if you went on a quest to try to figure out why it's happening, it may not actually make you feel better the way you think it would.
Cool.
Isn't
Now
that
this
how
is
our
like a
brains
step.
work?
This is like a step back, or it's like weighed you down on your journey forward.
Yeah.
Having a lot of information, I think, can be helpful in some areas. But I think if like you're like, I went through this hard thing and I am ready to process, to heal, to go through it, like, I feel like the information is just gonna like. But it's so hard to talk about because it has to be like for this particular person in this particular thing too, because we all handle things so differently or latch onto something from the story that makes it difficult for us to move forward.
Yeah. I think what's awesome in what you are naming is that the most impactful thing to you was just when somebody held the space that it's already but not yet.
Yeah, and I think there's like something when somebody like validates,
Yeah.
or shows up with compassion.
Yeah.
rather than like a toolkit to fix you.
Mm-hmm.
I know something is not right. I kind of just need someone else to agree with me. And that did a lot when I wasn't the only one who said that this was hard, or scary or full of uncertainty, and like having someone else like sit with you in that is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Which is hard work for that person to do also, because you can't get through what you're going through by yourself. Like you
Yeah.
have to have other people around you.
Yeah. When you said that your friend responded that way, I was thinking about you, but also thinking about him, and that it takes a lot of work for somebody. Like the difference between that person and the person who sent the plate,
Yeah.
which I'm sure there was good intention to it. It's like,
so good. Yeah.
if somebody is jumping straight to like, well, here's the reframe, or here's how I can help you, or here's like a better way you can think about it. It doesn't really have, at the end of the day, anything to do with you, but that person's inability or unwillingness to acknowledge their own powerlessness over a situation. So
Yeah.
for your friend to be able to say, I hate that this is happening for you. Like, I mean, we have moments like that in our friendship where, especially when you're close with somebody, like you want so badly to help them, to like rescue them from whatever they're going through.
And
not
don't you
help them
just
get
love
through.
when everything is okay? Like, or when we're like good and
Oh,
like
yeah.
life isn't happening to you too hard, life's not happening to me too hard, and we're just like hanging out
Just
and it's
chilling.
really great. And then but like you guys are homeowners, right?
Mhm.
Sorry. Like me too. And I know right now something in my house is breaking or about to break. And it's like the same thing is true like in my life. And at some point it's
And you
not
don't know
Yeah, I
either.
don't know. I don't. It's probably my knees. But I know like at some point we're just gonna be like we're gonna have to deal with the hard and the heavy thing. And whether that's like the death of a parent, a loved one, a friend, like the news that's coming through from work or from friends or like our community, like. Yeah, I feel like a broken record. Maybe it's because I don't know that many words or because I'm a poet, but I just feel like I'm always saying like it's just such a hard and heavy thing to be a human being. And every time I have said that, no one's been like, well, they're always like, oh yeah, dude, like that's true.
Yeah.
Like it, and I think there is something to say like call the thing what it is. And I think that in itself is some of the work that I get to do as a poet is I'm like, here's the thing that we're looking at.
Yeah.
Don't look above it. Don't look around it. Like let's just look right at it.
Yeah. You said this is the book that you've been wanting to put out for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious the why behind that. Like what, if you've been holding this, you were like, boy, book agent, whoever you are, I want to put out another book of poetry. And they were like, freaking chill out. And you're like, this is actually on my heart.
Yeah.
I'm kind of wondering, like, what was it that was fueling that fire?
Well, I think there was a lot of wisdom in, his name's Jonathan, who was like, hey man, like you can put out another book of poetry, but I think it's best to wait. And one of the reasons was like to give my audience a break. Like I just released a book of poems. He's like, you need to give it a little bit of time. And I think the hidden wisdom in all of that was like, you need to go through a little bit more of life, before you put out the next thing. You need something new to say. And at that time I still really wasn't processing like the pandemic. My father almost passed away during the pandemic, the infertility, like all the things happening that came out of like starting a career as a writer and a poet and all that kind of stuff, and like needing that time to write through life. And I think as I started writing this book and selecting the poems that I wanted to be in this collection, I began to see that there was this like depth and kind of different perspective that I came at things from. And I just feel like the words are easier to hold than they would have been had I not walked through all the things that I had walked through. And I think like, when you sit down with somebody who's got 20, 30, 40 years on you and they are kind, and they are compassionate, and they are not trying to tell you how to live your life, but they're just sitting with you in it. I hope that that's what these words feel like, of like words that have gone ahead of you, and then like, not that I don't think you hear me saying like I know a lot, like I'm a joke of a person, but like that these words can meet you where you are, because I have walked slowly through an uncertain heaviness and grief. You know what I'm saying? What's your smile about?
Well, it's a good segue anyway, because I want you to give them a little bit. I'm going to read the first paragraph,
Okay.
and then I want you to tell us the rest of the story.
All right.
It's what you start the book with.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think it's really important to...
Yeah.
I think it's important. So in the intro, you say, it was the first week of January, and I once again believed this was the year I was going to be in the best shape of my life.
It's 2023.
2023. Okay, I was going to ask what year it was.
Yeah. Yep.
I started running, stretching, and working out. I even did some sit-ups. New year, new me, right? Not for long. What happened?
I was also watching YouTube videos, like workout videos on YouTube all day long. I wasn't doing the videos, but I was like, I had them on my computer. I was like, yeah, it's going to be me. Like, it's going to happen. So it's like January 7th. I wake up in the middle of the night and I have this terrible pain in my stomach that like wraps around on my back. It feels like there's this tight rope that is just being like stretched along my body, and I am in the fetal position, just crying in bed. And it's not like, it wasn't a great look. And I told my wife, I was like, hey.
This is like a progression of symptoms?
Yeah,
or
it was
like
just
all
like,
of a sudden.
It was like slowly. And so I was like, well, just like, take some. I thought it was like a back spasm or a muscle strain. And it wasn't that. So I remember it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I grabbed my phone and I typed my symptoms into Google. And I was like, this is insane. I'm either pregnant or on my period. And I was like, this is nuts. And I was like, Sarah, you're not going to believe this. Like, call up Oprah. Like, this is a big story, because like we've now unexplained infertility. Really, like,
Here's the explanation.
We were trying the wrong way.
Wow.
Looking at the wrong person.
Who would have thought? So we go to the hospital, and I sit down with it. They run all these tests on me, and the doctor sits me down, and he's like, how you feeling? I was like, well, I'm pretty nervous being pregnant and all, And he was like, he's like, well, what's wrong? And I was like, well, I told him I was like, the pain. He's like, well, you're not pregnant. It's actually a stomach ulcer. And I was like, oh, well, like, do we need to do surgery?
And you were like, no, sir, my last name is Olson.
He was like, do you need to do, I was like, do we need to do surgery? And he goes, actually, it requires lifestyle changes. And I said, well, I'd rather just do the surgery. And he's like, well, there's no surgery involved. And I was like, well, he's like, what do you do for work? And I told him that I was a writer. And he's like, is it stressful? And I was like, yeah. He's like, well, what's so stressful about it? The writing, He said, do you drink a lot of coffee? I was like, well, yeah, I'm a writer. Does this guy know anything about, I don't have the best luck with doctors, I think. They don't really fully understand. They don't get me. But I mean, eventually he was just like, well, you just got to make some changes. You're stressed out. Like, you need to rest. You need to figure out, like, you got to figure this thing out now, or else it's going to really like destroy you. I thought that I was healthy, and I wasn't. And I've learned that my stress really was like a symptom of pride, thinking that I could do it all, that I had to do it all, that like if I didn't do it, it wasn't going to get done. I was worried about my future and like how I was perceived and all of this kind of stuff. And it just like, it wrecked my body, and it left me pretty much broken. And I had to do like a lot of work, steps back to like get healthy again. And I know there's a lot of people out there who are like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I get that. And I think there's just something so, it is a brave thing to rest. It is a brave thing to say, this can wait. And it is a hard thing to do that as well.
Yeah.
But I've been
Very
ulcer
hard.
free for about 2 years.
Wow.
But every now and again, there's this thing that happens in my body, and I'm like, uh-oh. Yeah, dude, she's back.
Yeah,
Oh,
dude.
no, I just have to poop.
Yeah.
Did you give up coffee?
Well,
I was hoping the answer would be no.
well, I tried to give it up for a little bit, and I did. But I mean, I've just changed a lot of like my eating habits, but I still drink coffee. But I was also drinking coffee at a coffee shop, and they made it, and it was like it was just a lot of acid, and so it just like wrecked my body because it was made in such a big batch. And so I've had to
You're
learn to make
intentional with it now.
Yeah, you have to make adjustments, and you have to, if you want to get through what you're going through, you got to make some changes.
That's right.
And so we made a lot of changes. But yeah, I would say like learning, and this kind of goes back with like everything that we've been talking about is like, it's okay to trust God with everything. It's not easy, but it's okay to. And I'm learning how to slowly let go and trust that something more is happening than I can see, and that God is a good God.
I even think that most of the hard things that I was talking about earlier, similarly, I'm sitting with them hoping that there's a surgery that fixes them. And my resentments that I was holding about them were really me going, no. I am not doing lifestyle changes. This happened to me.
Yeah.
Somebody will.
What do you mean I have to do something?
That's right. Yeah.
Like this happened to me.
Man, I once called and cussed out my sponsor for how angry I was. Poor guy.
Yeah.
What a delightful, loving man my sponsor is. But I
Do you think
once.
he's listening?
I don't think so.
It was a
If
big conversation.
We'll send him this episode.
Yeah, if you are, I love you. I just cussed him out because of how this is in the midst of a season of major depression. And I was just so angry that I was the one on the hook for healing for something that someone else did to me.
Yeah.
And it's because I was essentially sitting in the doctor's office hearing, hey man, you're going to have to rest from holding on to the control of how this plays out. And it's going to take a lot of lifestyle changes. Yeah. And I'm like, I'll wear the cone.
Yeah. I'm not afraid of the cone. I actually want the cone. Yeah.
I will not itch the stitches, I promise. But that wasn't the solution.
And it's like, now I have to deal with this. I think that's one of the things that I think about a lot is like, now I have to walk through this.
Yeah.
Or like, why me? Why me is like early on, like, because most of my work happens in front of people, of public speaking, of sharing poetry and telling stories. And I was talking with my wife about this, and I was like, I did not want this to be the thing that I talk about. Like, I did not want to talk about it. I did not want to talk about like the heaviness and all the things. And I have cried on stage 100 times talking about the infertility stuff. And then the story of when we got the call about Judah, and like the flip, the switch, how like God is slow until he isn't and all. But I did not want to talk about this. And yet for the past 3 years, I've talked about it. And so many people have been like, yeah, dude, like that's it. Like, I needed you to talk about it. And I didn't want to do that. And I'm not trying to be like, the thing that you're going through is going to help somebody else go through the thing that they're going through. Although there's a good chance that is going to be true. That's probably not why it's all happening. But like, like your the mess doesn't have to be like your ministry, you know?
Yeah.
But in a lot of cases, the thing that you go through, you're going to find that in a conversation with somebody, and you're going to be able to tell them that you hate this for them, or like, you may not believe me right now, but one day everything is going to be okay. And that may not be in this life, it may not be right now, and it might be a hard next 50 years, but like, hold on. Yeah. Do you guys want to hear another poem?
Yes.
Right.
And then I have a question.
Do you want to ask the question first?
No, you can read the poem first.
I'll read the poem. I think this kind of talks a little bit about what we were just kind of talking about a little bit. I'm sure in some ways. Put down your phone, that lifeline turned leash, and step outside, shoes off, bare feet on welcoming ground. Let the grass preach peace to your skin. Let the air touch your face like it's trying to tell you you are still alive. You are. Come back to yourself. You've been somewhere else, haven't you? Buried under lists, lost in endless headlines, suffocating under the pace of it all. Let yourself breathe. Slower. Slower still, and then slower again, because rushing won't resurrect you. Drop the weight your shoulders are carrying. It's heavy, isn't it? This whole thing. Living, waiting, enduring, trying to hold it all together when you hardly know what together means anymore. Silence the noise, not just outside, but in. Turn the volume down on the fear, on the what ifs, on the not enoughs. Cut through the static and listen, listen. Do you hear it? The birds, the wind, the whisper in the leaves. They're singing something ancient, something holy. Creation hasn't forgotten how to worship. Maybe we just forgot how to listen. Remember, not your failure, not your fear, but these: faithfulness, love, forgiveness, heaven, the empty tomb, grace upon grace upon grace. Look around. Goodness right there beside you. Mercy moving in the margins. Life is still happening, still unfolding, even here, especially here. So be still in the silence. Not because you're stuck, but because stillness is sacred. Inhale, exhale, repeat. Speak like God is listening, because He is. Listen like God is answering, because He is. Be still like God is with you, because He is. All right, it's way too long of a pause.
I only remember one line from all of that because it like punched me in the face, and it was rushing won't resurrect you.
Mm-hmm.
Bruh.
I know. I have to write about the things that I need to hear.
Mm.
I'm really good at just trying to go through it all.
Yeah.
And skip to the next thing.
I need that reminder. Thank you.
The invitation of come back to yourself, I think as you were reading it, I was just thinking like everything that you were encouraging someone to do is or are the things that I'm thankful for about having become who I am now through the thing. And it really is the the invitation of come back to yourself feels so like childlike. It's like I remember as a kid being mesmerized in the woods behind my parents' house at the beauty of sunlight coming through leaves.
Yeah. Take me back.
And it's like, boy, maybe if I let go of how angry I am at what has happened to me, then I can reclaim who I am.
Do you remember the movie Hook?
Yeah.
And there's the part where Robin Williams' character, and he's like, I'm not Peter Pan. And then they grab his face gets grabbed, and he's Peter. There you are. You know? And it's like, I think about my childhood a lot because everything was okay. Because I didn't know it wasn't not. It was like before all the things happened. And then I remember like my backyard too. We had I grew up in Florida, and we had these camphor trees in the backyard, and I would always go outside and climb them and hang from the branches, and my skin would get tough and rip, and I'd have dirt on my hands, and I would just spend hours in the tree looking at the cars drive by. And it was like my Psalm 23, you know, like that's where the peace was. And so even sometimes in my mind, like when I need to calm down, I'm back up in that tree, you know?
That's good.
Yeah.
Something I also realized when you were reading both of those poems, my mic stand keeps lowering and it's driving me nuts. You know how musicians have a little bit of a different singing voice than they do a talking voice? When you go into like
Put on the poet
spoken
voice?
word mode, it's so good. I like kind of got lost.
Sometimes I wish that I could do it in conversation
It
like
feels
this.
too forced.
Yeah,
No,
too forced.
please
I
don't
tried.
do it.
Yeah, I tried. What's so funny, like when I'll like speak at churches and stuff, like I'll open up with a poem, and then I'll get into the message or whatever, and then like I'll close out with a poem, and then afterwards, without a doubt, someone will come up to me and be like, "That was the longest poem I have ever heard." And I was like, "Well, actually, it wasn't one." I was like, "I put you under this poetry spell."
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh. Okay, 2 questions.
Yeah.
As we start to land the plane. I remember when we first met, I think we talked about this where, because most of your content online is written stuff. You've been doing more like video. I know you hate that part, but a lot of your stuff is written.
Yeah.
And so when you read people's words, you kind of get, you like make up how they are in your mind, whether it's fair or not. And there's some good things to that and some weird things to it. But I remember when we first started hanging out, I was like, oh wait, he's really funny. And the humor doesn't always translate into poetry because what you write about is so like deep and meaningful. And having gotten to know you more, like that's such a huge part of your personality.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. I'm not saying this in like I'm being genuine. How and why does the humor or the lightness play a part in getting through what you're going through?
Yeah, I think when you read through the book, like you'll find some stories or some lines that are definitely in there to, well, it's my style of writing, but to like lighten the mood a little bit. Like the two poems that I've read are maybe the most serious ones. I'll close out with one that I think has a joke in it. Some people they're like they don't get it, and I'm just like, I think that's a funny line. Anyways,
we'll see if we get it or not.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, I know you won't. But it's also really hard to show up as your full self on the internet.
Yeah,
And especially when someone is like, oh, I've seen these 5 posts from you and they are all very serious things. You must be a very serious person. And if you know me, you're like, serious is not the word that is used to describe me.
Sure.
Like, oh, he writes poetry, but he's not like that kind of, it's like, not like that. So, and I just don't know how to do that on the internet. Like show up as like, oh, I'm going to make jokes. Like that's just not how I do it. Yeah. And I think there is just something to be said about being able to sit down and get to know somebody away from a screen, and then you go and then you look at their work and you're like, oh, I can kind of see it. I can see it now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you read through getting through what you're going through, it's not like this serious book of poetry. Like there are definitely some serious poems in there for you. I hope that you can sit with and that can help you get through what you're going through. But there's also a few, like there's one in there called a recipe for a defeating day. And it's basically like this like list of things to do. And it is like, watch this episode of The Office,
Nice.
Yeah. Dinner party.
That.
It's a dinner party episode.
Oh, so good.
So good. Yes. Yeah.
I don't know what you just did.
He removed the TV.
Oh,
Michael Scott's got this teeny tiny television on the wall, and it's mounted on a bracket that lets you like pull it out from the wall.
Yeah.
And he says something to the effect of, and when I need more space, he pushes it like 2 inches to the wall.
Yeah. It says it's a recipe to cure another defeating day, and it serves one. So it's a half bag of jalapeno chips. Not great for the ulcer. Psalm 23, 73 dog videos, a prayer, 41 minutes of walking outside beneath the sun, a list of 25 things that bring you joy, 10 hours in sweatpants, another prayer, at least 2 pages of journaling, a mountain of blankets, 3 hours of petting a dog, as many phone calls with old friends as desired, 2 mixtapes from high school so you can sing at the top of your lungs as you drive with the windows down, a meaningful hug, Season 4, Episode 13 of The Office, something fried and dipped in sauce, another prayer. That's like
love that, dude.
I love
so
that.
if you're like, that's a very serious book.
No.
But I mean, something fried dipped in sauce really cures a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Amen.
And it
I
causes
want
more
something
problems.
fried now.
Yeah.
Okay, and then tell us about the cover.
Yeah.
If you're not watching the video, there's like a squeezed orange.
Yeah, it's
and
very
it's
orange.
dripping out. Is it orange juice or is it
Orange
honey?
juice, yeah.
I thought it was honey.
Kind of looks like honey.
It's like
So there's
dripping out the
there are a
goodness
couple of writings in the book that reference, like, I mean, I grew up in Florida, so like, but there's an essay in the book of me and my mom going orange picking, and what that means. And there's a poem, and I'm gonna try to find it. I'm still getting familiar with the book, called "Squeeze Me Out," and it is really, it goes like this. I'm gonna put my poet voice on. You
Okay.
ready?
Did I make you insecure about it?
No.
Okay.
You're not the first person to say it.
Okay.
But now I'm gonna do it even harder.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna poet so hard on this one.
Is this what a poetry
It sounds
slam
like you just
is?
said pour it, but you had a lisp. Oh boy, it's so hard.
It's so funny. I've done a couple of videos, and I guess I say the word story. I have a poem and I say the word story, and as we were like filming the video, the videographer was like, "You keep saying story," and so I couldn't like do it any different. Anyways, this is called "Squeeze Me Out," and it squeeze me out, and no, you won't find answers, but maybe something softer, something that stayed after the clapping stopped, after the room emptied and the unexpected arrived. I hope you'll find something like honey after the sting, something gentle enough to hold you, strong enough to stay, something patient, something kind, not loud, not polished, but real. And mostly, I hope you find love, not the kind sold in songs, the kind that wakes early just to water what isn't blooming yet, the kind that daily pulls the weeds, kneels in the mud and calls it holy. A love that whispers your name when you've lost your own voice. A love that limps through dark valleys, that forgives when it's tired, that shows up again and again because that's what love does. Press me. You'll find prayers whispered in silence, tears that have seen the middle of the night, faith that's been held together by the hands of a healer. You'll see joy that had to be chased, hope that refused to let go, and peace that passes all understanding. Maybe you'll see unfinished dreams, scars too honest to hide, stories still being written by the same hands that held me together. You'll find soul, grace, and the echo of every "I'm still here." Squeeze me out, and no, you won't find answers. You'll find presence, no fear, just a heart still learning how to love and be loved. So that's kind of why the cover's that way, to be squeezed out. Like if you're getting through what you're going through, like you are being squeezed out, and there is still something good to come from that.
Yeah, and potentially the best.
Yeah,
to come from.
And I keep thinking about the question that you brought up of, do you want to be healed?
Yeah,
it's gonna hurt.
Yeah,
you're gonna get squeezed out.
Man, so I think I was in 12-step for probably 2 years before I finally started answering that question, like for me, of like, do you want to be made well? And the reality is I was in 12-step trying to heal from something I wasn't ready to let go of because it felt like the only solution I had left to how I was feeling, not believing that there could be a well on the other side. And so, yeah, the question of what came up for me before is really like, how do we encourage someone who's in the spot where they just got the call that they have unexplained fertility, and or they're realizing how angry they are and how much it may be in their hands that they're still holding that thing and they're being squeezed.
Yeah.
And I think it is like, as you're being squeezed, something beautiful is still there. And maybe there's more of that awaiting you.
Yeah. I always find myself saying, like, good is on the way. Like something good is on the way. And the way things are not the way they will always be. And that might feel a little hippy-dippy, but it is rooted in this, like, in the promise of peace. It is rooted in a God who cares, sees, loves, walks with us. Like, I know that it's a lot, right? I know that, like, we are all getting squeezed out in our own different way. And yet, something more is happening than we can see. Good is on the way. Hope doesn't let the story end.
Yeah. And even I would add one thing to that, which is like, even implicitly in the question of, do you want to be made well, is the statement that this is not my heart for you. So if Jesus is asking, do you want to be made well, he's saying that how you are is not how he intended. And so how you are is not how God God's heart for you is his design for you. So if you need to be made well from something, then implicitly God's heart for you is different than what is happening to you.
Yeah, well, it's a hard world to be in.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for creating things that are beautiful companions to the hardness.
Yeah. Just happy to be here, man.
Yeah.
This is fun.
I don't know what else to do. Like
Mhm.
when you see, and I think this is kind of, and I know we're wrapping up, but like when you see something that needs to be fixed, we're guys, we want to fix it.
Mm.
This is what I have to offer. Like, this is what I have to give. Like, and it's just like hopefully a hopeful companion that can sit with you through the heaviness, or put into language what you're thinking or feeling or going through. Because I think there is so much power in that, of being like, oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's how I feel, or that's what I needed to hear. So that's kind of been the hope, the prayer for getting through what you're going through. And yeah, thanks for having me on your podcast. It's been fun. I hope I did a good enough job to maybe come back again someday, guys.
Well, we'll see if we're going to air this one.
We'll
or
see
not.
how
We
you
have to go through that process first.
We'll see how you sound muted in the mix. It'll be good.
My pauses weren't too long.
Yeah.
I was trying to see if, probably should have looked at this beforehand. I was trying to see if by the time this airs, it's before the event.
In Nashville?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be
Because the event is,
February 17th.
yeah, and this,
February 17th.
This comes out in...
oh, that's right. We're talking about March.
Yeah.
Well, we had a really great event.
It was so fun.
It was really awesome. And so please don't pre-order the book, because you can't anymore. Just go buy it.
Just go order the book.
God, I suck sometimes.
Podcasting is hard.
Yeah, it's so fun to talk about the future and the present, but then think about if it's going to be the past for the person listening.
It's also annoying because February and March are kind of like mirror months date-wise.
Did you guys
they all
hear
fall on
about
the same day.
February this year?
Perfect.
It's like perfect, and it only happens like every 800 years or something. Did you hear
Yeah.
this?
Well, February happens every year, but...
Yes, but
Yeah.
there's something about
Get
the...
him, Tanner.
Do you know what it was? Something about the days and the
yeah,
weeks?
it all like lines up. It's like, because there's 28 days in the month of
Oh,
February, and so it's
wow.
like Sunday. It's like Sunday was like the first,
Yeah.
and then so that means that it's perfect. 4 weeks, 4 perfect weeks of,
And it only happens,
of a really
like,
rough month.
every 831 years or something.
Wow, that's so satisfying.
So that last month, right? The time you're listening to this, last month was
It
the
was
only
perfect,
time.
and
Wow.
you missed it.
Yep, and
If
yet
you're
so
listening
many,
right
and yet
now-
so many imperfect things happened in a very perfect month.
Yeah. Oh Lord, yes.
You guys know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Oh man.
I might fire after this. I might fire myself from beginning and ending of episodes.
I'd be more than
The
happy to
event
be
was-
your introduction.
The event was great. It was awesome. Are you doing any more events?
Yeah. This month,
And where can people
it's
find
March. I'll be in St. Louis, in Arizona, in Iowa, and
I thought you were going to say Ireland.
No, I wish. Yeah, you can find all my information at writtentospeak.com or on Instagram, where I only post serious things and no jokes
Not
or
yet.
unwitty comments.
Yeah, his Instagram's no joke.
Boom, roasted.
Got it.
Buy the books. Buy
Yeah.
getting through what you're going through. Buy all the other books.
It's
Appreciate
so
it.
exciting.
Go to
Thank
go
you
to
for
a,
making worthwhile things.
Yeah, go to an event.
Yeah. Well, everybody, we're glad you're here. Keep showing up. You're worth it.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to another episode. Listen, we're working on some really practical resources to help you connect more deeply with yourself and others. So if you head over to our website, 3percentco.com, you can learn more about that. The link will be in the show notes. And this is the part of the show where we ask you for some help. Listen, we don't have a big fancy production team. We're recording these in my therapy office in between sessions and in the margins of our life. We just really believe in the message that much. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and rarely would I take the time to review and rate a show, just because honestly, I forgot. It wasn't until we started doing this show that I realized doing that actually really does help these platforms notice our show and get the word out. And so if any of this is impactful to you, we would love it if you took a second to leave us a review, rate us, or If you want to just do it the old-fashioned way, text this link to a friend and say, hey, let's talk about this episode. Whatever you do, make sure to follow us on whatever platform you're listening to so you never miss an episode. We're really grateful you're here, and we'll see you next week.
Let's be